Hello, everybody. Well, we have made it to the bitter end of Big Brother 27. After a rather fun season, I've had fun anyway. Whether I had to drag the cast, drag production, or enjoy certain moments, it has been fun for me. And one thing about this cast, as dumb as it has been, one thing I have mentioned throughout that I have quite enjoyed is the unpredictability of this season. No cast in Big Brother history, no season in Big Brother history has been as unpredictable as this one. And even at the end here, with this final three, it is still unpredictable how the jury will actually see these three players, depending on who makes the final two, who will the jury really vote for. And it makes for definitely one of the more exciting finales that I can remember on this show, because the show is usually not this unpredictable. That is a fact. With the last 24 hours of feeds, we still had some drama between Morgan and Vince, the two that keep on giving us something. It was more of Vince trying to grab onto Morgan to take him to the end now that he has no chance at winning the final HOH. But Ashley's mist might actually be stronger than Vince's emotional manipulation. The thing with Vince's game here at the end is that I don't really know if it's the best way to try and get yourself taken to the end. A woe is me. We've been allies the whole time. I deserve final two. Once again, always talking about how Ashley hasn't cared about the game, which actually speaks volumes about Ashley's game and actually how good it actually is that she was running so much shit and people don't even realize it. Maybe not running shit, but she was definitely pulling strings a lot of times throughout the season and had to save herself many times throughout the season. So Vince always saying that about Ashley the whole season, still at the end, does make me roll my eyes. But Ashley has gotten to Morgan's head to convince her that she can't beat Vince because Morgan and Vince have played too similar of a game. You don't really know how the jury's going to look at it. Who ran who made all the moves. It's just too neck and neck. It's too risky for Morgan to take Vince. And then, of course, in private, when Ashley's talking to the cameras, talking about how she knows Morgan would beat Vince at the end, but she can't tell Morgan that. Very smart of Ashley. So even until the end, Ashley trying to pull strings, Ashley trying to miss Morgan to take her to the end so that Ashley at least guarantees herself at the final two, whether she wins the last HOH or Morgan wins the last HOH. And so far, unless Morgan has a change of heart today, which is always possible this season, Ashley has missed her. And Morgan, if Morgan wins this final HOH, she wants to take Ashley to the end, which is best case scenario for me. As much as I wouldn't mind Vince winning, I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I do think he would be a bad winner. I've said that all weekend. Going to keep saying it. I do think if Vince wins, it's not a great winner. Too sloppy of a social game. In any other season, if there was logic, he's played far worse social games than the likes of Paul, the likes of Tyler, who played similar games, who were much better puppet masters than Vince is. So there's that. But yeah, props to Ashley for once again pulling strings to try and make herself guaranteed final two. But then you have Vince, of course, doing the woe is me act all day yesterday, really all weekend, but it just got worse and worse as the weekend has gone on. It made me lose respect for Vince more and more as the weekend has gone on. Not that I have a lot of respect for him in the first place. And so the way Vince goes about this, it's like, and I said this yesterday, but I gotta say it again. How is he supposed to win a jury vote if this is his whole shtick the entire season? It's a woe is me. Unless Vince did a complete 180, whatever it is, unless he turns it around and does the complete opposite, that's the only way he's gonna win. Vince would have to own his game completely, which is something he hasn't done this entire season. That would be his only big move left in a final two. It's nothing he's talked about doing on feeds though. It's nothing he's talked about doing in his pitch though. But that is what he would have to do to win this game, is to go to the final two, tell the jury everything he did, own it. Because he has played hard and he has done a lot of damage. He has won a lot of HOHs, but the entire game he hasn't wanted to own it. He's tried to put it off onto someone else. And I don't think the jury, at least any jury in the history of Big Brother or Survivor, has never respected a player like Vince who doesn't own their game at the end. So that's where I see Vince's game at this point. I've lost even more respect. I will be a little more irritated if he wins because it's just so pathetic to watch him sometimes. And I don't think, I know this is how he played the whole time, but I don't think him doing this, I suck at everything, you don't think I deserve to be in final two, that's why you're not going to take me, trying to manipulate Morgan to take him, I don't think that was the best way to go about it. I think it makes the decision easier for Morgan, in my opinion. If he's thinking he doesn't deserve to go to final two, then all right, I was thinking about not taking you, so now I won't because of all this nonsense you're saying. You know, Morgan, and she has done this for weeks too, has done some emotional manipulation of her own. She will throw it back at Vince that, you know, at one point a few weeks ago, if she was going to vote Lauren out on his HOH, he wasn't going to be friends with her outside of the game. She's used that against him for weeks now. She's used the fact that he had a final two with Lauren for weeks now. I like that about Morgan, though. It's why I think she has played a great game at the end here. She is not afraid to throw Vince's nonsense back into his face, and I respect that. So looking at the final three, before we wind down here in what is likely my last feeds update of this season, although tonight I'm going to attempt to do a live, and while the finale is going on right here on the channel, we'll see how it goes, because I'm going to be in a different room, a room that has an echo, because I just moved a few weeks ago, and some of the rooms here are quite empty, but that room has better lighting. This room has great lighting in the daytime, but I can't fit a ring light in here, so the other room must be used. But anyway, other than tonight, and I'll probably do some videos at the end of the season too, but my last feeds update, I just want to go over each individual's game one last time. My final opinions on this final three. We'll start with Vince because I've already been dragging him in this video. Vince has played hard, and I see some Vince stands online, not in my comments thankfully, but on Twitter, talking about how Vince, they feel sorry for Vince if he doesn't make final two because they respect a player that has played the whole game, but Ashley and Morgan have played the whole game too. Like, there has been a lot of people on this cast that didn't play. Most of them are long gone, like Kat, Riley. One of them just went, and Ava. But this final three has played the whole time too. Like, yeah, Morgan's early game was, she was stuck on Zach at times. But you can't say she wasn't playing when she's the person that kind of took over Mickey's secret HOH, saved Vince, convinced her to put up Jimmy. Morgan's been playing the whole time. She's a gamer. I don't think her reveal at the end, if she makes final two, that she's a Twitch streamer that games, is really going to do anything for her. But we'll get to that. And then Ashley had to save herself from week one. 2 weeks later on Lauren's HOH, she had to save herself to make sure she didn't go up on the block when Lauren was HOH. So all three of these players have played the whole game. Don't like that argument from Vince Stans. Doesn't hold up. Wouldn't hold up in court. Ashley would smack that away pretty easily. Vince's best part of the game is that he was able to emotionally manipulate people, and I think that's the only stance he has left is the stands that are also emotionally manipulated by him and would feel sorry for him if he doesn't make final two. His emotional games on the feeds might not be working on Morgan, but they're still working on Vince stands out there. So he was great at his weaselly emotional manipulation, but I also feel like he got lucky having some people this season that would just listen to him no matter what. Lauren, Callie, Keanu, no matter what Vince did, they would just listen to him. We all know why Lauren and Callie felt that way, because they wanted their Sun Downtown Alliance. I've been talking about this since week 3. So anybody new to the channel that hasn't been watching from week 3, you're going to have to go back and see what I mean, because I'm not going over it again. So Vince also had some luck on his side where the casting this season went. As for Morgan, she's played a great game. She's been a force. As I've said a lot this season, she has been the player that I think has had the most pull at times this season. She's had a great social game when people were upset with her, like Rachel at one point. She got back in Rachel's good graces. When she had to win competitions, she won competitions that saved herself. And in the end game, she's been dominating competitions. It's why if Morgan does win this final 3 and she takes Ashley to the end, it's a very interesting final 2. If I was on the jury, as much as I love Ashley, if I'm looking at the game, I'm likely voting for Morgan going into that final 2. Unless Ashley says some stuff in her answers and in her final speech to sway me. I think I would be swayable if I was in that jury. But looking at these jurors, I don't know how swayable they're going to be to listening to Ashley. Which brings me to Ashley's game. I think she also played a really good game from the first house target to possibly making final 2. That alone is a great story. That's one of the best stories you could have in a game like this. The first house target, but you make the final 2. It's compelling. Plus, she's going to do her lawyer reveal, which I do think is a better reveal than Morgan's I'm a Twitch streamer reveal, because only for the fact that so many people thought Ashley was dumb, and she played that up all season long to the point that when Zach left the game, he looked like a dumbass and had to do a complete flip on his stance about Ashley coming out of the house. So I do think Ashley's reveal that she's a lawyer is stronger than Morgan's reveal, mostly because Ashley played up her dumbness, and she's been talking about it on feeds all day yesterday, how that was hard because we all have egos, and she just had to go with it, especially dealing with people like Keanu who think they're just so smart and really are the opposite. And here's Ashley having to play dumb. So I think Ashley could have the most compelling closing argument if she uses her lawyer knowledge to have the better speech, to have the better case. I think it's going to be good for her. I don't know. I'm excited about the finale. I can't say that about most Big Brother finales, honestly. So they've done something right in here with the unpredictability of this season. It's the best. The best thing I could say about this season is the unpredictability. Here's hoping for a Morgan win, because I would prefer a Morgan and Ashley final 2. I do feel like Ashley felt more confident yesterday in a challenge where you got to talk about the rest of the season or answer questions about the season. Plus, Vince was doing a lot of distracting of Morgan yesterday with his woe is me act, so she might not be well rested or did enough thinking about this final competition, going over answers. She got a lot of distraction from Vince. So Ashley could very well win the final 2. And cut Morgan, take Vince. We'll see how that goes. The edit of the jury was they a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them seemed to respect Vince's game, but we also have people in the jury rooting for Ashley, and we also have 2 people that just left to the jury that left very anti-Vince. And then if Morgan does get cut, though, I can see her being bitter against Ashley and voting for Vince to win. So Vince still has a shot to win. Hoping for a Morgan final HOH win to take Ashley, because then I'm happiest with the winner either way, for me personally. Yeah, good stuff coming into the finale.